What it is, everybody, what it is, everybody, what it is. This is your boy, Mr. E, boss of the Southside Bosses. Y'all know I'm coming here live. Oh, wait, I got talking, but ain't saying nothing down there. I need to change that because, as you already know, this is Revolutionary Hour, Bible Sciences and Bible Fallacies. Man, we got a great one tonight, man, because I honestly need to address this whole situation where they be talking about Esau being the white man and all that good stuff, and bad stuff, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I'm going to have to address that tonight. But before we actually get into that, I just want to ask y'all if you're listening to us on your favorite streaming service, whether that be YouTube, Spotify, iHeart, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Apple Deezer, Deezer, Amazon MP3. Y'all know what I'm saying. Or if you're just listening to us on your on on sbcmovement.com. Sorry, y'all, I'm kind of flaking right there. You see it on the ticker right there if you're looking at it on YouTube, or on our Facebook group page of Southside Bosses, BOSS Podcast or BOSS Radio, or if you're looking at this on our Kevulon Society on Facebook. So we just want to let you know, please like, follow, subscribe, and share all of this to your family and friends, because they will be in for a treat if they did. Trust me, because like I said, I'm going to be cracking open all of this about Esau. We're going to put this to rest because y'all letting the real criminal off the hook. So we're going to talk about that. But before we do, we got a word from one of our sponsors. So I just ask y'all to just bear with us a moment. We got a word from one of our sponsors, and then we're going to be hitting y'all with a little bit of music from your boy, Mr. E, the Gutter Baby. You heard me. If you're listening, you're going to be we're finna break it down tonight. Esau is not the white man. We're going to show y'all exactly who the white man is according to history, and where they came from. And I know I'm using those connotations, white man and black man and all that, but that's just to keep you up with what's going on. Y'all know I don't believe in colored people and all that good stuff. But so after a word from one of our sponsors, we're gonna go ahead and get it rocking and shocking and all that good stuff. Yeah.
And the disenfranchises the indigenous person. And by us thinking that these systems are going to last, we're contributing to these systems with our taxpayers. I was just saying in a TikTok post the other day how black people actually pay police to kill black people. I mean, you pay. How many times have we said that I pay the taxes that pay you? That means I pay you, and that means that I can fire you. I just don't know how, because I don't have all the rules to the game. But once I figure it out, I am going to play the game right. So instead of us actually trying to, beat them at their own game without learning the rules to it, let's learn the rules to it. Because we obviously see that the Black Congressional Caucus is not going to do anything for us. I haven't even heard anything about them in years now, since the Black Lives Matter first.
What if I told you there's a viable solution to the problem that so-called black people are facing, not only in the United States, but also around the world? Would you want to hear it? Yes? What I find is that more times than not, when faced with a solution, people tend to want it to be easy. But what if I warned you it was simple, yet needs constant work and action? Would you still be interested? On our podcast, Revolutionary Hour, we discuss these solutions instead of just complaining about the problems. We do this with the hope that our children can be better equipped to deal with the world that we are living in today.
This is why you should be following our podcast by clicking the link above or finding us on your favorite streaming service. Revolutionary Hour is just that, revolutionary. So let's start making a future by learning from the past. Click that link, follow our show, make a change that'll last.
Yeah, so that right there with Southside Beauty Care, man. If y'all suffering from like dry skin and things of that nature, it's eczema, psoriasis, whatever, you could go to southsidebeautycare.com and they gonna hook you up. I guarantee you gonna find all natural shea butter, all natural cocoa butter, all natural black soap, all natural turmeric soap. We got oh man, we got olive butter soap, we have olive butter, we have olive oil, we have Tamanu oil. I'm saying we got everything. Look, you see me? I'm finna show y'all what that Shea Bay do. I've been feeding my hair Shea Bay, and my hair is just getting longer and longer, man. So I'm gonna show y'all exactly what's going on with that with this new video that I got coming out real soon. So y'all really got to go find us on TikTok, Southside Beauty Care, Instagram, Southside Beauty Care, and Facebook, Southside Beauty Care. All right. So now before we get started, I do have to get one thing. It's because if I don't, I could probably get sued. I don't see how on this show. I don't think God has a lawyer, do we? God, you got a lawyer? I'm joking. Anyways, so before I do, anybody can actually and it's just a hard situation to break off into. But you know, so let me go ahead and play this radio disclaimer for everybody. You heard me. Being with this radio, Southside bosses, its owners, and associates take no responsibility for the opinions or statements made by the talk show host or their guests. Statements or show topics are not necessarily the beliefs of the site or the radio station, and opinions between talk show hosts may conflict. This site does not endorse anything as the truth. That you will have to judge for yourself. But we try to speak the truth on the owner's behalf and reserve the right to question the supposed truth. In this time of misinformation, government-controlled media, and government corruption, it is sometimes hard to get to the truth, but we must try. It is not our intention to libel, discriminate, make hate, or annoy anyone. We believe that it is our constitutional First Amendment right of free speech to voice our opinions and our duty to the Constitution and country to expose the truth. This site takes no responsibility for the opinions of others and the postings of comments in chat rooms or forum posts. What it is, okay, so now that we got that out the way, we need to actually address this because I always hear all the time people always saying that Esau is the white man and Esau Edom and all this stuff. So we're going to break this down. Esau is not the white man. Matter of fact, he's actually in Hebrew. He's not an Israelite, but he's an uncle of the Israelites, of the Ishmaelites. He's a Hebrew because his grandfather is Eber. Great grandfather is Eber. We're going to get to that soon. But this whole time I've been trying to help you understand the Bible sciences and Bible fallacies. And right now they got you, there's so much that's mixed up in this thing. But we got to break this down from the very beginning, after the flood is at least. So we got three brothers that Noah was father to, three brothers. And a lot of y'all know them as Shem, being the Semites or the Hebrews, and the Ishmaelites and the Canaanites and the all types of other knights, but that existed back in the day. And then you also have, and that's also include the Phoenicians. And then you have the Hamites, who gave birth to the Cushites and Nubians and the Egyptians and so on and so forth. And then you have another one, and his name is Japheth. Japheth. And Japheth is, we don't know about Japheth. They don't tell us about Japheth. So we decided to look into it a little bit deeper because we already know that all these three brothers, they separated and went their different ways, and populated the known parts of the earth that it was on at that time. And that's why if you actually look at the way that the waters was at that time, you'll realize that the Atlantic Ocean wasn't the Atlantic Ocean. So the Africans actually, or the Hamites actually, came down, split the land into Ham and Cush. Now that also include North and South America. A lot of people don't know that because they look at it how it is today, how it's all the way over here, and you got Africa all the way over here, and they don't realize that that water was once the Atlantic Ocean was once the Atlantis River. So you got to understand that concept to understand the rest of this, because once you do, you actually start to see that they went they separate ways. You know what I'm saying? Shem to the east, and Ham down to the southwest. But Japheth, he went up north. Yes, he went up north. You don't believe me? Look, I'm going to show you. And I know this is just a Wikipedia page, but trust me, you can do your research, your own research. You want to prove me wrong? Do your research and prove me wrong. Because what I'm going to show you right now is pretty much who Japheth really is. And then we're going to I'm going to break down some more on how it plays a major role into the prophecy of the Israelites. Check it. All right. So we have right here the Wikipedia page for Japheth. And again, I want y'all to do your own, because this is actually, I did this paper a while ago. And then I came on here and it was like somebody stole my paper. So I can guarantee you can do your own research and find this out. But Japheth was Hebrew, um, Japheth right here, and Japheth, Greek. They show you all the different ways to say his name. But it goes on to say that is one of the three sons of Noah in the book of Genesis, in which he plays a role in the story of Noah's drunkenness and the curse of Ham, and subsequently in the Table of Nations as the ancestor of the peoples of the Aegean Sea, Anatolia, and elsewhere. In medieval times and early modern European tradition, he was considered to be the progenitor of the European races, while the Islamic traditions also include the Chinese people among his descendants. So, they're telling you here that the Europeans believed that they was the father of the European people. Now, we go to find out what the agency is. Where's the agency? We see the agency right here. Agency, then you have Greece, Albania, Serbia, Bulgaria, Macedonia. This is all over here by the Caucasus Mountains. This is all by the Caucasus Mountains. Again, let's go back. There was in Anatolia. Where's Anatolia? Anatolia is over here, modern day Turkey. So you see, they was over there by the Balkan Peninsula, the Sea of Marmara, Black Sea, the Turkey. This is the area that they're in. They was in the Asia Minor. Where's the Asia Minor? The Asia Minor is the alternative name for Anatolia, the westernmost protrusion of Asia, comprising of majority of the Republic of Turkey. This is going towards Europe. This is where Japheth went. He went towards Europe and settled in Europe. Why you think the Bible never speaks of him again? They always speaks of the tribes of Shem. They mention tribes of Ham, but they never ever speak of the tribe of Japheth ever again. Just disappears after the flood. Hey, I'm gone, y'all. Y'all do your thing, man. I hope y'all. He just he didn't just disappear. No, what happened was he went to Europe, got caught in the Ice Age, and during the Ice Age, the melanin went from their skin. And again, we talked about this before. It's pure evolution. It went into their hair. Their hair fell down. It wasn't dreaded or nothing, but their hair fell down because it was matted and stuff like that. And it also went down to protect their neck because it was cold as hell. It was an ice age. Now, when they nose slimmed up to warm that air up as it hit the lungs, so that it wouldn't constrict the lungs, because cold air is constrictive. It needed to expand the lungs so that they could breathe. So it had to warm the air so they nose went, look, it went skin like that. Yeah, that's why. The hair that was growing on their arms, they needed that extra protection from the cold. You feel me? It's all over. That's how they turned from looking like what the Shemites and the Hamites looked like to looking like pale people as they look today. Now, not only that, they also stuck in the ice age. There's no vegetation. If there's no vegetation, there's no wildlife. Well, the only wildlife that there is the carnivores, because they eat meat. And as long as there's meat, there's going to be, and there's plenty of people. So they learned from the carnivores. And this is how they became meat eaters, strictly meat eaters. This is why you would go to Texas, especially Texas, and you'll find people who want their steak blue. Do you know what a blue steak is? That's seared 30 seconds on each side and then served. It's like all I want you to do is kill the enzymes on the top of it and give me a raw steak. That's what a blue steak is. You won't see too many people of color, of melanated skin, of heavily melanated skin doing that. You won't find any Asiatics doing that. You won't find any Africans doing that. I mean, why when we can go out and have a peach? Something sweet and juicy. Anyways, but they didn't have any, they didn't have peaches. The most they had that was vegetation was radishes, potatoes, onions. Who gonna eat that raw? You don't eat that. You don't eat those raw potato. Then you gonna eat a potato raw. So they had to learn from the carnivores and eat meat in order to be able to survive. So they didn't have time to love, to have peace, to have truth, justice, and freedom. They had to steal, kill, and mill their way through survival. That was just what they had to do. So this is what put their mentality into such a warlike mentality. This is why their mentality was always take and don't give back, because that's the life that they had to live for generations. There was literally babies born and didn't know a thing about peace, didn't know a thing about truth, didn't know anything about all that. Freedom. What's freedom? I got to get it how I live. That's just how it is. They were, why they're the original gangsters. They was the ones who knew they had no love in their heart. So if they didn't have any love in their heart, they didn't have a problem taking a piece of meat from the person next to them that they probably yesterday called brother. They didn't have no problem doing that. This was because they was caught in that ice age, and this is the life that they had to live for generations after generations after generations. This is why when they came out of the ice age, our ancestors seen them, the Hamites and the Shemites, they seen these Visigoths, they seen these Aryans, they seen these Caucasians, they seen these people, and it was like, wow, okay, well, how you doing? Oh, wow, you're like an animal. Okay, so let me, no, you don't want to do that. Let me show you how to, no, you don't have to eat, no, don't try to eat me. No, here, have a fruit. Oh, you like that? Okay, that's good. Here's some more. Yeah, it just grows on this tree right here. Yeah, you just go up and you just grab it and we just eat it. Just keep on walking. Can you have it? Yeah, sure. You can have a few. You can have a couple. Yeah. No, can you have the tree? Well, nobody owns the tree. Nobody can own. You want to own? No, you can't own it. Wait, what are you doing? No, you can't take the tree with you. It's Mother Nature's. Leave it there. Leave it there. No. Don't, you can't take the tree. The tree don't belong to you. The tree don't belong. Oh, I'm dead. And now he owns the tree. And guess what he does? He charged my children for the fruit that's on the tree. But he charged them. You got to come with something. Oh, you don't have nothing? Well, here, we got these things over here called dollars. If you get enough of them, you could bring them back to me and I give you some fruit. What our children do, being born into it, generation after generation, they fall for it. Sound familiar? That's why Joshua told you, give back to Caesar what's Caesar's. But you just make sure you give back to the all. What is the all? That means your energy, your spirit, your essence. But they couldn't have that. So, because if they had that, if they allowed you to give your all to some all, then it won't be nothing left for them. Because they just created these little things called dollars, and those dollars are supposed to, help them get this fruit to you, and the capitalism. So they had to devise a plan in order to get you to not follow what you originally was supposed to follow, which was the universal law. They had to get you to follow their law. Because once you follow their law, they got you. This is Japheth. Sound familiar? Yeah. Yeah. Now, how does this all tie in? But check this out. We all keep saying that Edom is the modern day European, when we can just look and see that Edom is the son of Isaac. Edom is the son of Isaac, so that would make him the great great grandson of Eber, who is the progenitor of the Ibriy, or the Hebrews, whatever you want to call them. So he can't be the white man. He's one of us. He's a relative of the Hamites. He's a relative of the Shemites. He's a relative of the Japhites too, but he ain't grow up with them. That's just like the cousin that grew up in New York, and y'all, her whole family is from Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama. You know what I'm saying? And y'all grew up together, and this one up in New York, he ain't grow up with y'all. So when he come down, they go, who is this cat? He's my cousin. Nah, he ain't my cousin. I don't know this cat. Oh, well, what up, cousin? All right, man. Let me show you how we get down here. So we tried to put them down there, but no, they didn't like that. They tried to come down here and tried to take over some shit. That's what happened with Japheth, not Esau. If you actually understand that Esau is us, yes, the Arabs. The Arabs did try to take over us. They did. This is why the curse was put on everybody, because of the Noah. Now, when you go back and look at the story of Noah, let's go ahead and tie all this in, because a lot of y'all think that the curse was put on Ham. This is what Japheth wants you to think. This is why the Vatican is the one in charge of dishing out the Bible. They had to create the Council of Nicaea. So in Genesis 9, chapter 9, verse 20 through 29, you'll see that they were talking about Noah being drunk from his vineyard, and Ham walked in on him while he was naked. And he went back and told Japheth and Shem, who just so happened to go take a blanket in there, walk backwards, and put the blanket over their dad so that his nakedness wouldn't be shown. When Noah came to, he heard what happened. He said his youngest son Ham let him down, so he cursed Ham, said that he'll be slaves. This is what the Europeans say, that you're supposed to be a slave, because the Hamites was enslaved because of what they did. See, that's not how it went down. It's not. And you know that ain't how it went down if you actually sat down and read the Bible, because it's blatant when Yahweh tells the Israelites in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 49. Let's go look at that. In chapter 48, chapter 28, verse 49. And in that one, it clearly shows you what it is. So it says, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. Now, I ain't the smartest man in the world, but I know they got to be talking about how England came and how the Dutch came and how the Portuguese came and how all of these European Christian nations came into the land of the Hamites and snatched a whole bunch of people and shipped them as fast as the eagle, because the American eagle is just, bomb. It's just bomb. So if you can't tell me that this isn't a direct quote saying that this will be something, a nation that comes from afar, they come from afar, and it's a language you don't understand. It's hard to understand how you can actually say that and not actually understand that that is a direct um, quote talking about exactly what happened to the people who was in West Africa. And if you follow the Israelites during their whole captivity with the Romans, you find out that after the temple was destroyed, it was forced across Egypt and of course across North Africa down to West Africa. That's where they had to flee to. So of course, this is talking about Japheth coming from afar to punish him. But that ain't what it was supposed to be. See, yeah, Japheth was supposed to come and punish him, but they was the ones that was originally cursed. The only reason that the curse was placed upon them in Deuteronomy 28:49 is because the Israelites wouldn't listen to his law. So he sent the country from a nation from afar to take care of them. But that nation was the cursed tribe of Japheth. This is why when they leave the Bible after this whole scenario with Noah, the tribes and everything that came forth from Japheth's loins never is talked about ever again in the so-called Old Testament. It was all about Shem with mentions of Ham, a lot of mentions of Ham. But yet we supposed to believe Japheth just fell off the face of the earth. Maybe he was supposed to. Maybe he was the one that saw his father's nakedness. Because think about it. We know that homosexuality wasn't that rampant in Africa. You ain't gonna sit here and lie to me about homosexuality being rampant. And it existed, yes, it existed, but it was not a whole community. It was not like how it is today. Not knocking it or anything, just saying in Africa during that time, it was not that rampant. But in order to be able to stay warm in cold weather, they tell you that body warmth is the best warmth to keep yourself warm to survive. And I guarantee you that there was not enough women for each man up there because they was dying like rats during the bubonic plague. They was dying because it was cold. Not because it was weak, it's because it was cold. It was because of the cold that they came out mentally and emotionally strong, hardened, as the Bible says about Pharaoh. They was hardened, warlike, ready to take a nation into captivity and ship them on ships as fast as the eagles fly. That's why they was punished. They was banished away from what we was building over, because what we had over here, think about it, we wasn't punished. The Hamites wasn't punished. When they went to Africa and splitting the Kush and Ham, they wasn't punished. No. You know what they was? They was blessed. How? Because again, they eating pineapple, they eating papaya, they eating peaches, strawberries, oranges, apples, cucumbers, lettuce. They're drinking clean water. They're having warm weather. It's tropical. And their skin can handle it. So they didn't have to hide from it. We flourished and just did whatever we want, ran with the gazelles and the lions and the cheetahs. We still do that to this day over there. Till this day. We don't do it no more in the concrete jungle because the way that the United States or the North America has been demolished. But we did it over here too. Yes, we. Yes. Oh, we all one family. I don't care what anybody say. We all one family. Even Japheth. See, now after being so rough on us, and now they got the power, they're running everything, they're running the world. Now they get to live carefree. So now they can get to know us. And in the process of getting to know us, they hardened hearts started to get a little soft. This is how we got the abolitionists. This is how we got all the people who wanted to help the Africans or the slaves. And again, I'm using connotative words because this is what you know. But you had them, they decided to help free us. This is how their hearts started getting soft. But now our hearts are kind of hard. We don't know if we could trust them. We have some that rather just work with them because they don't want to die. Sad, I know, but it is what it is. But in all honestly, you have to really understand exactly what is told out that book. Japheth did not want us to know that he was the one that was the one that did whatever he did to Noah, because we know that story is not exactly what happened. We don't know what exactly happened because I haven't found that in the other theology. Because all of them, they all say the same thing. Y'all just don't listen. Y'all just don't listen. You're too busy saying you're throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Yeah, I understand what the Council of Nicaea did. I understand what the Vatican did. But you're not understanding that with that understanding, I understand or overstand the fact that Japheth was the one that was actually cursed, not Ham. Ham was living a good life. But you know what? Japheth was up there living a rough life. And the whole time, I wouldn't be surprised if they was like, when we make it out, if we make it out of here, I'm going to tear Ham up. I'm going to tear Shem up. Why? Because they out there living a good life. After my father cursed me, I can't, I would not. I got to get revenge. Think about it. They came out with guns blazing, of course. And for some of y'all that think that the curse wasn't meant for them, let's go into it a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to read Genesis chapter 9. And we're going to see what that scripture, what the curse said. Then we're going to switch some words around. And then we're going to reevaluate that again. So check this out. Genesis chapter 9, verse 20 through 29. And it says, Noah, a man of the soil, proceeded to plant a vineyard. When he drank some of his wine, he became drunk and lay uncovered inside his tent. Ham, the father of Canaan, saw his father naked and told his two brothers outside. Now, let's read that again, but with the correction. Japheth, the father of Japheth, period, saw his father naked and told his two brothers outside. But Shem and Ham took a garment and laid it across their shoulders. Then they walked in backward and covered their father's naked body. Their faces were turned the other way so that they would not see their father naked. Now, we already know that has nothing to do with being naked. And Ham, for him to be looking upon his father naked and probably thinking some kind of way about it, why is it that not that many instances of homosexuality in Africa, but there's a lot in the land that they now call Europe, in the cave, in the cave drawings and stuff like that up there? Why is there a lot of instances where that comes up? So it goes on to say, when Noah woke from his wine and found out what his youngest son had done to him, he said, now this is where I have to call that shenanigans on the youngest part, because Ham wasn't really the youngest. They just got him labeled the youngest in here. Japheth was really the youngest. A lot of people didn't know that. And don't even trust me. Go do your due diligence. Go study that. Once you see that Japheth was not the youngest, I mean the oldest, he was the youngest, you'll see that this verse makes totally most sense, because all Japheth came out and did was change the name. He said, "Cursed be Japheth, not Canaan, the lowest of slaves, will he be to his brothers." Now, I am trying to figure out a time in history where Japheth actually, or excuse me, not Japheth, but Canaan was actually a slave. It doesn't say anything about that in the Bible, and it does not say that anywhere in the actual history, except for the transatlantic slave trade, which we already know is the actual prophecy of Deuteronomy 28. So if that's the prophecy of Deuteronomy 28, that's not this prophecy. This is a totally different prophecy. It's a totally different prophecy. Yeah. So we know that Canaan never was actually a slave. So what that's not this. So wait, why would it say that? Well, let's keep going. We're going to continue. Hold on. We're going to continue where it says, he also said, "Praise be to the Lord, the God of Shem. May Canaan be the slave of Shem." Canaan never was the slave of Shem. Because if you look at it, we already know that the so-called Jews are the Ashkenazi Jews. They're not the Hebrews. So they're not Semites. They are not Semites. So I can't be anti-Semitic. They're not Semites. So when you figure out who the Semites are, you will find out that Canaan was never a slave to the Semites. So why would that be there? It hasn't happened, at least not in our history. Maybe it happens in the future, but I doubt it, because it was supposed to happen in the future already. Then it goes on to say that may God extend Japheth's territory. May Japheth live in the tents of Shem, and may Canaan be the slave of Japheth. The only thing that even make a little bit of sense is when it says Canaan be the slave of Japheth, because then we'll be talking about the past 400 years. But it said may Japheth's territory be extended. Are we talking about North America? Because you did say that they would dwell in the tents of Shem, but they killed the Indians and took their land. That is not what you said here. You blessed the God of Shem. You blessed Shem, but yet you have him, Japheth, kill Shem. Ain't Shem the one that helped cover you? So apparently, this is not a correct interpretation. This is not a correct translation. The names have been switched around, because let's switch them back around. Now, come back up here. When Noah woke from his wine, he found out what his youngest son had done to him. He said, "Cursed be Japheth, the lowest of slaves will he be to his brothers." I know what you're thinking. White people ain't never been slaves. What is he talking about, man? White people ain't never been slaves, right? Okay. Well, when you actually look a little deeper into it, you find out really, really quick that that is not the case. That yes, they were ever bit of slaves. Let me show you. Let me see. This right here. Bam! Hieroglyphics, personally, of white people servicing black people who obviously was enjoying themselves, getting ready to eat, because one of them was going to cook it, because they got the wine bottle right there. These were obviously slaves, and they served ham. Now, we go back to the scriptures. You see where it says, "Cursed be Japheth, the lowest of slaves, will he be to his brothers. Praise be the Lord, the God of Shem. May Canaan be the slave of Shem." But let's change that. May Japheth be the slave of Shem. Now, I know what you're saying. Well, the Semites ain't never had them as slaves. Kind of did. Because the Moors are Semites. The Moors come from Canaan. The Moabites, excuse me. So if they came from the Moabites and they're Semites and they went into Europe, they built Europe. They built Europe. So if they built Europe, then you would see that. Let me show you that they built Europe. Because y'all think I'm playing. Y'all think I'm playing. They built Europe. Seriously. They built Europe. There's no way else that you can say that. They built all the universities there. All the architecture in Europe is Moorish, Semite, Semitic. So there's your tents. Sounds like they dwelt in the tents to me. And then it said, may God extend Japheth's territory. Maybe he extended Ham's territory, because we know that the people that exist on this land for thousands upon thousands of years are kin to the Hamites. They are kin to the Hamites. They're kin to the Shemites. Atlantis, the Atlantean proves that the Atlantis civilization was kin to the Egyptians. The Atlantis civilization was on the border of what we now call North America and West Africa. So it sounds to me that not only did we know who our ancestors were, who our kin were, we left markings, we left everything for us. And Japheth came and tried to change it up on us. That's what happened. Joshua tried to tell us. All the prophets tried to tell us. Muhammad tried to tell us. Muhammad, when he died, Islam fell victim to Catholicism. And that's how you have Islamic dogmas and the Islamic doctrines instead of an Islamic culture. But we ain't gonna, I don't know what y'all want to do with this information. This information is something that it's been dissected. It's been, if you could find a flaw in it, show me the flaw. I am all about correction. Show me the flaw. But I guarantee you that when you do your research, you're going to believe the same. You're going to come to the same conclusion that I came to. It just makes sense. Once you actually see that, everything else just comes together. You understand why Paul or Saul decided to pretend to be an apostle and write 14 books so that the Council of Nicaea could take those 14 books and make them the whole basis of the church, excluding even what Jesus said. How you use this man's death, but you won't use this man's words? It just doesn't make sense to me, does it? But it does now. It makes plenty sense to me. Because once you see it that way, you know that it ain't nothing else we can do. We're supposed to return back to the law. See, I believe that because of that curse, the masculine version of Yahweh wanted to eradicate the people of eradicate Japheth. That's why he asked Mother Nature to send that ice storm, the ice age. They were supposed to freeze to death. They was not supposed to survive that. This is why they weren't supposed to be talked about again until they decided to write a whole New Testament. But Mother Nature was like, I can't do my babies like that. They still my babies. So what she did was she warned the rest of us that if we don't get right, she's gonna have to take care of us. And she knew we weren't gonna get right. She knew we weren't gonna get right. So she hardened our brother over there. She hardened Ham and Sham's brother, changed his appearance, and then sent them into battle because we wouldn't abide by the law that the all had set for us. We dropped the ball. We need to pick it back up. And then Japheth will finally be assimilated back into humanity, because you know that their mortality rate is rising every moment. They're dying more than they're having babies. So that's Mother Nature making a correction to what she did in order to get us to get back in line. You know, she said it in Deuteronomy 28:49. I will send the country, I send a nation at you that you whose language you can't understand, was as swift as an eagle. It says it right there. We didn't know these people. We didn't. We forgot all about Japheth. We were like, hey, huh, what happened? Japheth, what? Who is that? Nah. And all of a sudden, when he came out of the north and hit us, bam! We wasn't ready for it. We wasn't ready. They was up there eating meat. We was eating fruits and veggies. We was eating berries and nuts and shit. We was enjoying good life. They was up there living that rough life, living that hard life, getting their heart hardened. So now, as Europeans, they are not going to be able to actually show any kind of love when they come out of that ice age. They came out of that ice age ready for war, ready to conquer. And that's what they did. Can't blame them. Especially now that I know Mother Nature sent them at us to get us right, because we wouldn't listen. And we still not listening. We still listening to Japheth, who is actually the younger brother. And I know we got an affinity of listening to the younger brother because of Jacob. It happens. But we need to stop it from happening, because if we don't stop it from happening, it's going to continue, and our children are going to continue. That's why they're being indoctrinated right now into their hearts being hardened. That's why they're doing these senseless killings and things of that nature, for the simple fact that they really was not supposed to be living like this. We don't truly forgot the law. And Mother Nature is going to correct all of it. And she ain't just going to correct them. She going to correct us too. Because when Mother has the cure, we're all cured. But when Mother chastises, we're all in trouble. So I hope y'all got something out of this. And again, I just ask y'all to follow our station, Revolutionary Hour, whether you listen to Spotify, iHeart, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Amazon MP3, Deezer, and more. And share us to your family and friends. Like, subscribe, follow. Come to our website, sbcmovement.com. Find us on Facebook at BOSS Podcast and on Instagram at BOSS Radio. Or Southside Boss Connection, BOSS Radio is on TikTok. I know we got so many handles. I tried to, but it won't let me do nothing now. So I just want to ask y'all to go ahead and follow us. We love all the support that we can. I know it's like a rude awakening hearing all of these clarifications. I wanted to say it was a thesis. It was a hypothesis, but it's already been established that the all has already downloaded to me what it needed me to say tonight, to put that all in perspective for you. Stop saying Esau is Edom. Esau is white man. You disowning our own family member. Yeah, he came out red. Think about it. Think about it. Until then, this is your boy, Mr. E. I'm out. We'll be back on Revolutionary Hour. But if you want to go check out our other shows, we also have What Would You Do? Talking but ain't saying nothing. We also have boardroom stories. I'm sorry, my little Terry over here. She's like, I'm about to leave her alone. Fuck. Anyways, we got boardroom stories. We got so many other stop. We got boardroom stories and so many other ones. Also, go check out our sponsor, SouthsideBeautyCare.com, where you can get the best of skincare needs. We also got a sale right now because I know it's going into winter, but y'all know, ladies, y'all need to get a jump on that summer right now. Get a jump on that summer by go ahead and checking out the summer dresses that we have. We're also going to be having some winter gear up really soon too. We're going to get y'all ready, man. You just go ahead and go over to SouthsideBeautyCare.com and follow our page over there as well. You also be able to check out our podcast, What Would You Do? And hey, this is your boy, and I'm out, baby. You already know what it is. What if I told you there's a viable solution to the problem that so-called black people are facing, not only in the United States, but also around the world? Would you want to hear it? Yes? What I find is that more times than not, when faced with a solution, people tend to want it to be easy. But what if I warned you it was simple, yet needs constant work and action? Would you still be interested? On our podcast, Revolutionary Hour, we discuss these solutions instead of just complaining about the problems. We do this with the hope that our children can be better equipped to deal with the world that we are living in today. This is why you should be following our podcast by clicking the link above or finding us on your favorite streaming service. Revolutionary Hour is just that, revolutionary. So let's start making a future by learning from the past. Click that link, follow our show, make a change that'll last. I do explain to your mother love. Hello, my name is Mr. E, and I love to bring the best reggae artists to your ear just so you can have the best to listen to. We get to know these artists in ways that only you can know through listening to them speak on life in the way that they see it. So I want to invite you to follow our podcast to keep up or even find a new favorite artist by clicking the link above and just hitting the follow button. From legend artists such as Glenn Washington to brand new emerging artists like Sky the Limit, reggae is an art form full of artists and we have them here with us on BOSS Radio. You never interacted with the art if you can't vibe with the artist. So this is your perfect chance to understand the lyrics, emotions, and sounds the way they were meant to be. Hit that follow button today so you can stop missing out right now.